Lucky. All right. Dawn and dusk are tricky times of day. They're like twins that mirror each other physically, but go in opposite philosophical directions. For many of us, dusk signals the end of another day of work. We might enjoy the beauty of the setting sun, but as its rays fade further below the horizon, we slip back inside our homes to set lights against the darkness. If we're driving or otherwise stay outdoors, our eyes can play tricks on us. It's easy to imagine things that aren't there, or for us to not accurately see what is in the lengthening shadows. Dawn, on the other hand, reverses those shadows. What was obscured becomes clearer and brighter. For us night owls, dawn is a bit tough because we'd rather still be sleeping, and if you live with someone who is irritatingly perky in the morning, just kind of rubs you the wrong way and gets the day off to a bad start. Morning people have the gift of seeing the possibilities of the day just stretched out before them and take advantage of every waking moment, and they want you to be as eager as you are. We don't know if Mary Magdalene and the other Mary are night owls or morning people, but they arrive at the tomb as the day was dawning. Maybe they were morning people. Maybe one was and the other one wasn't. And one Mary coaxed the other Mary to go with her to the tomb that early. Maybe neither one could sleep as they tossed and turned, agonizing over the events of the past couple of days. So they gave up on sleep and did the only thing that made any sense to them: go to their friend's grave and try to come to grips with the reality of their grief. Have you ever had an experience where you saw something with your own eyes, but you didn't want to believe? And in your head, you come up with some alternate scenario. And then your alternate reality becomes so real to you that you convince yourself what you wanted to happen is what really happened. Yeah, that's called denial. Mary and Mary are in that space just before denial. They know, they've seen the brutal execution of Jesus, but they are wanting to deny it. This kind teacher and healer, miracle worker, Son of God, he didn't save himself from such agony and death. It just doesn't make any sense. How do you make sense of the turn of events between Sunday and Thursday? Last Sunday, it seemed all Jerusalem was cheering, and they're cheering Jesus on and waving the palm branches, and by the end of the week, he's dead. It's a difficult parallel for anyone who loves Jim Lawrence. 2 weeks ago, Jim was happy and vibrant on Sunday, Grateful for a beautiful day spent with loved ones in the emergency room on Monday morning and slipping from this world at dusk on Wednesday. Where was Jesus when we needed him? Where was Jesus when Jeremy was sick? Where was Jesus when anyone we've loved has struggled? When Mary and Mary reached the tomb, Matthew tells us there was an earthquake. That would not have been so unusual. The Middle East has had numerous earthquakes, some quite catastrophic, all through the centuries. But many more were, kind of more like, say, California, with its occasional tremors. This earthquake was just enough of one to roll the stone that had sealed the tomb ajar and scare the heck out of the superstitious Roman guards. The two Marys were frightened too, but an angel told them, "Do not be afraid." Do not be afraid. Easy for someone else to say. How are we to not be fearful when something catastrophic rocks our world? By being aware of the angels that God sends into our lives, trusting their presence no matter what news they have to tell. Many of us have witnessed angels over the last couple of weeks. Some of you have been angels. There's no doubt that Jim got competent, compassionate care at the hospital. What I witnessed over those several days absolutely rose to the angelic, especially the staff of the neurological intensive care unit. You can't fake the sincerity that we saw. How difficult is it to not be afraid when you hear news that there are no treatment options for recovery? There is no worse news than that. Jim and his family believed the angels when they said, "Don't be afraid." And even though the rules of the ICU are that only 2 people at a time are allowed in the room, on Tuesday evening, they permitted the whole praise team, plus others, to sing with Jim one last time. Except Matt's drums. They did draw the line at the drums. It was a sacred moment. The voices of the singers, strong and clear without tears. Jim, aware of his place between 2 worlds, tapping his foot to the music. Angels in the presence of Jesus filled that space in the persons of the musicians, the nurses, the family, and friends. Amongst the sadness, there was joy in this gift that was being shared. It was the most transcendental of experiences God allows us to have. The love of Jesus was present in the hands of the people that came together to do all the things necessary to serve a funeral dinner in a very short period of time. God was present in every hug of encouragement. there is no escaping the reality that we live lives tinged by both fear and joy. A glance at the daily news has us fearful for the condition of our planet and its peace. Ancient rivalries are made all more dangerous by awful firepower and reckless leaders willing to use it. We fear what kind of world our children are inheriting. As technology progresses, many have reason to fear what kind of job they will be able to keep. It's reasonable that people have fears when struggling with finances or health or both. We find joy in those moments when a relationship is healed. We celebrate a child's first steps and all the achievements they make in their lives. There is great joy and relief when a diagnosis is all clear. And there is joy among the sadness when a dear friend is regarded as a guardian angel. The resurrection of Christ creates for us the chance to experience and share joy and hope and courage and so much more. In the action of the resurrection, we have God's promise that life is stronger than death, that love is greater than hate, that compassion and forgiveness overwhelms those who would only judge and condemn. Fear and joy, despair and hope, doubt and faith are some of the many sides of our lives we can't help but to experience as we look for the face of Jesus in the world. Whatever your doubts about a physical resurrection, the story of Easter is real. You will face an earthquake in your life that will shake the very foundation of your faith. You will be confronted with uncertainty, pain, and grief. But there will be the promise of dawn and the reassurance of don't be afraid. Do you want to see Jesus? Then be an angel. Amen.